Okay, one of the major systems on the vehicle, and I don't know, I think it's probably the major system. The engine's not running, okay, it can roll, there's no water in it, it can still roll. You need to be able to stop the damn thing. We've got the brake fluid reservoir, which is here, and a lot of vehicles, it's hidden. You've got a Ford Focus. Can you see your...
Yeah, I can, but you're quite right back. On some of them, there's a guard covering them, and if you're not being shown by your instructor, you may miss them. So it's a good indicator when you actually go under the bonnet with the instructor to ask him, look, one of these three questions going to be asked is one about the engine oil, one about the coolant, and I might be asked also one about the fluid in the brake fluid. So if you can't locate it, he will actually point out and show you how to get to it. It should be checked on a regular basis.
Okay. Taking that on board, how does it work? Well, you've got on this vehicle 4 brakes, new brake pads, pretty new vehicle, and the reservoir is full, and there's enough hydraulic fluid in the brake linings to actually apply the brakes to the discs and drums, whatever's fitted. As the brake pads wear down, right, you will need more fluid in the system to push the brakes out onto the drums and discs. The fluid is then taken out of the reservoir. If it gets down to a low level, you can actually suck air into the reservoir, into the system, and into the brake pipes. The bubbles in the actual hydraulic fluid can compress, fluid can't, and all you end up with are spongy brakes. You will not be able to stop. So it's important that you check this on a regular basis. Now, I'm not a great believer in modern technology to that degree. Computers telling me that the fluid is low. You can always get a bulb gone in the cockpit. I like to look at things visually and make sure that they're running okay. However, sometimes it can't be helped. But in this case, we can physically see it. Unscrew the brake fluid cap, right straight forward, and top it up. It's hydraulic fluid. Do not fill it past the maximum line. There are 2 markings on there. If it does, once you get new brake pads or linings put on, it will actually force the excess oil back into the reservoir. You do not want this on your vehicle. It can corrode. It's very highly corrosive. It can do your paintworking, I do believe.
Yeah.
I know people don't that. One other thing to actually consider, and this is again, if you know, checking your vehicle, if you come out to it every single day of the week, it's like anything else, and you notice that the oil is getting lower, well, you obviously aren't using, unless you're a terrible driver and you're using your brakes aggressively, you're not going to have that much naturally changing the level. But if it is, the level is changing, it could be a leak. Not necessarily make your brakes spongy, but the cylinders on each wheel could have a seepage. An ideal thing for you to check is just move your vehicle either forwards or backwards, see where the wheels were, and see if there's any fluid on the floor. Anything like that, that needs to be rectified, consult a garage mechanic. Don't do it yourself. Messing with brakes can be quite dangerous. Shall we tell me questions, Stuart?
Yeah, again, it's, as we just discussed there, you've asked over the bonnet and point out where the brake fluid reservoir is and how you know you've got enough fluid in the system. They won't expect you to take the cap off at this stage, but to point out the minimum and maximum marks on the side of the reservoir. And moving just one stage further from underneath the car, if we were to get inside the car, one that show me tell me question, which is a tell me question, would be how would we know the brakes are working correctly? I mean, that's one of them. And I think you know what the answer to that is, what we'd be looking for the answer.
Try them.
Okay? Yeah, so it doesn't pull to one side.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously the other one that is not spongy. So that is a tell me question from inside the car.
Right, okay.
But it's related to the brakes, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's still related.
Yeah. I mean, again, if you've got air in the system, they are going to be spongy.
Yeah, of course it is.
I mean, it might not necessarily be a damaged cylinder, it could be an even wear brake shoes, but again, it's one of those things that I would definitely consult a garage to get rectified, unless you are switched on, like Stuart.